What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to another Touchdowns to Home Runs. I'm so glad that you are here for this video. Today, I got the AFC North predictions for this season. Last time out, I did the NFC West predictions. That's a very tough division. I'm doing another very tough division here. Division with the Baltimore Ravens, obviously the reigning number one seed in the AFC with the reigning MVP Lamar Jackson. Got the Pittsburgh Steelers, who had a very strong season defensively last year. Offensively is a different story. You got the Cleveland Browns, a team who was super hyped last season but didn't perform, but looked to bounce back after this season. And then you have the worst team of last year, the Cincinnati Bengals, who just got former Heisman from LSU, Mr. Joe Burrow. So that should be very exciting. And this division, who knows what could happen this year? The whole NFL is up in the air right now with what's going to happen. Especially, we have no clue how these teams are actually going to perform due to the level of practicing. Like, preseason's canceled. The level of preparedness that these players will actually have going up into the regular season. So I could be completely wrong on this. I'm doing my best to make an educated guess on how these rankings will line up in these standings for the AFC North this year, but I thought I did a pretty good job. And again, like, these are just my opinions. You guys have your own and everything, so I love hearing from you guys and what you guys think down below in the comments. So definitely drop your predictions down below in that comment section. But yeah, let's get into checking out my predictions for who I think is going to win the AFC North and how the whole division is going to line up. Coming in at number 4, I got the Cincinnati Bengals. I already mentioned it. They just got the number 1 overall pick, Joe Burrow, and this is a development year for him. This is a year to get him in the league, let him get a taste for what the league's like, get his feet in the water and everything in that NFL. He is a very good quarterback. Loved watching him at LSU. He's one of my favorite football players. We know what he's capable of doing. It's just, is he going to be able to do that at an NFL level, especially with the team he has right now, is the big question mark. Obviously, the Bengals are a very weak team, especially that offensive line, which is going to be tough for Burrow because he's going to be faced up against some huge AFC North defenses all throughout the season. And we know those teams got some big fronts, so that's going to be difficult time for JB taking snaps. But the Bengals drafted T. Higgins to help him out wide receiver. They got AJ Green still. They got Joe Mixon in the backfield. So the offense isn't actually that bad. Burrow will have the weapons to put up a decent season. I think, in my opinion, I think the Bengals will do better than what everyone is giving them credit for. But I still don't think that will be enough to overtake the Browns, overtake the Steelers, overtake the Ravens. They're still going to be at the bottom of the division. And they're probably going to be looking for a higher draft pick again to try to get maybe an O-lineman next year or something. Just add protection to Burrow, add protection to your asset. They went all in on Joe Burrow. They didn't want to trade the pick or anything, even though they could have. So Joe Burrow is the guy for the Bengals for the next coming seasons. So this is a year just to develop him and really see what you got as a team over there in Cincinnati. My number 3 team for the AFC North is the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, this is the one that's going to turn some heads. Obviously, Pittsburgh, there's no question about it. They have an elite D, one of the best defenses in the league. I think that their team scored the most touchdowns out of any defense in the league last year. They had a huge presence in that score column, that defense, and they honestly won the Steelers a ton of games because of that. They were scoring more than their offense sometimes. Bush, Dupree, Minka. I love Minka. In my opinion, he's the best safety in the league. Joe Hayden, Cameron Hayward, all very good players. TJ Watt, very stacked defense there. So no questions about that. No complaint for the defense at all. The offense is my biggest question. Big Ben's coming back. How will he do coming back? I don't know. I'm not a huge Big Ben guy. I never have been, but I've never been a huge Big Ben hater. I've always been kind of just in that middle with him. I don't think he's an elite superstar, but I don't think that he is trash like some people would say he is, or just overrated. So I think I'm kind of in the middle of him. I just don't think that he will be what they need. The Steelers need to be able to come in that top tier of this division. Can Juju become a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL? That will be something that I think will be key for the Steelers this season to really take a step up. If Juju is able to really perform well as a wide receiver and help out Big Ben in that sense, I think that that's huge. I think that we need to see more production from James Conner than we did last year, definitely, for this Steelers offense to get going. They just drafted Chase Claypool for a wide receiver, and he's going to help out James Washington, but as that under role behind Juju as that second, third wide receiver. They signed Ebron at tight end, so that's a big pickup for them at the tight end position. But a guy that I want to see more, and this might just be because I love watching college football. I'm a huge SEC guy. If you didn't already tell, I'm a huge South Carolina fan. So I watched this guy play in the SEC a lot. Benny Snell, he's a guy I really love to watch play. I'd love to see him get some more playing time at the for the Steelers. I think that he's a guy who could be a game changer. He could have a huge sophomore season this season. So I want to see Pittsburgh start letting Benny Snell get some more snaps, and you could feel completely different. But that's just something I want to see as a fan, and something that, who knows, he was an explosive player in college. You really haven't given him the chance to prove himself at the NFL level. So let's see what he's got. So that basically said it. The defense, no doubt about it, they can definitely hang with this division. They probably have the best defense in this whole division. Just that offense, there's too many question marks for me to put them over a Browns or Ravens team right now. So that's why I had them coming in at number 3. Coming in at number 2, I got the Cleveland Browns. Now, this is one that, again, will shock people that I put the Browns over the Steelers. But this is just my opinion. I'm pretty big on the Browns this season. I wasn't that big on them last season, but I really feel like the main thing, everyone knows this, is how will Baker Mayfield play this season. I think that he's going to come back hungry. I know he's a competitor. That's just the guy he is, and I feel like he's going to make some big strides into becoming a better quarterback this season. That's why I have the Browns doing so well this year. So I think that Baker Mayfield will take what he learned last season, having a really hyped team and everything like that, and well underperforming. They did not have a good year at all last year, the Browns did. So I think that he's going to take that into account. I heard him on podcasts and stuff. I think I was hearing him on Barstool. I love watching Barstool and everything. And he was on one of them, and he was just like, yeah, I just sat back after the season. It sucked. It did not feel good, and I do not want to feel that after again. I don't want to feel like that after a season again. So he's going to go back, and I felt he is really just going to go out and ball out this season, having a great season for the Browns. Chubb is one of the best running backs in the league. I really like Nick Chubb, an amazing running back. Loved watching him at Georgia, and I love seeing him now become a great player in the NFL. And Kareem Hunt, everyone forgets that he's still on that Browns roster. If he gets going to back to what he was before the whole mishap and everything that got him cut from KC, he's still a good running back, and I think a lot of people forget that the Browns even have Kareem Hunt. They addressed some issues at O-line, signing Jack Conklin and Jarek Wills. They drafted Jarek Wills this season out of Alabama. That's huge for protecting Mayfield and everything, giving him more time in the pocket and everything. Able to get him to his 2 big wide receivers. We all know who they are, OBJ and Jarvis Landry. 2 guys who personally I'm not the biggest fan of them, but I do know that they're good wide receivers and good targets to have, especially for Baker Mayfield, and especially when you got a running back. If you can establish that run game with that new offensive line that you have now, and Nick Chubb, a guy who can really rush it up the middle and just change the game in that sense, you're going to open up spots for OBJ and Landry so much more, and just really make this offense so much more effective than it was last year. They signed Austin Hooper at tight end, a very good tight end, so that will definitely help Baker Mayfield. But do not count this defense out. I think this defense is underrated. They don't get the credit that they deserve, in my opinion, and I just feel like there's going to be some guys on this Browns defense this year who are really going to take it a step up and be some real stars in the league. One guy I have in mind is Greedy Williams. He's going to be a sophomore. He's coming out of LSU. He was a rookie last season, but I really feel like Greedy Williams is going to be one of those guys to take a huge step up in his game from last year and everything. They have a good enough team, in my opinion, to beat out Pittsburgh with that their defense going up against Pittsburgh's offense, and I feel like the Browns offense is much better than Pittsburgh's offense. The defense is obviously Pittsburgh has a better defense, but I do think that the Browns overall are a well more sound team than the Steelers. Just again, I have questions all over that offensive side for the Steelers, and I just feel like the Browns are a team on the rise this year and a team that's really going to step up. So that's why I have the Browns over the Steelers, but the Ravens are just overall, like both sides of the ball, they're an elite team. There's no question about that, so I just couldn't put the Browns above the Ravens. Number 1, there's only one team left, no one else but the Baltimore Ravens. I actually already made a video on why the Ravens will win the AFC North, so this video, I just wanted to go through and give my full predictions of that. But of course, they have the former MVP Lamar Jackson. Some people think that defenses are going to have him solved out. I don't think so for this season, at least. I think Lamar still is going to be able to rush all over the field and have defenses falling all over the place. An amazing player. Love watching Lamar Jackson play. They add JK Dobbins to tandem with Mark Ingram. That was an amazing pick on the Ravens' part. I love that pick. I think we're forgetting what JK Dobbins put up at Ohio State. He had better rushing stats than Zeke did at Ohio State. So JK Dobbins was a great pickup for the Ravens and their offense. Hollywood Brown, a guy I'm really big on. I think that he's going to take a huge step as a sophomore this year. He was the first wide receiver off the board in his draft class and didn't really perform to what the other wide receivers did. I think you got at the top there, you got like A.J. Brown, you got DK Metcalf, you got Terry McLaurin, maybe even Deebo Samuel if you'll throw in my guy Deebo Samuel there. But Hollywood was kind of that guy who didn't really perform to what he was up to, but I think that he can definitely, I think part of that was the Ravens scheme last year. There wasn't really much involvement with those wide receivers as much as those other guys were getting. Like, yeah, McLaurin, he's basically the only guy that the Redskins have. A.J. Brown just came in and was Tannehill's top target in Tennessee and everything. So I just don't feel like Hollywood had the opportunities that those guys did, and that may have affected his stats. But I still feel like he's going to take a huge step up this season. They do lose my guy Hayden Hurst from South Carolina in that tight end set, but they still have one of the best tight end, in my opinion, the best tight end set in the league. You got Nick Boyle, you got Mark Andrews, and you got Jerrell Adams. Very good there, and we know how much the Ravens love to use their tight end, so that's going to be huge for them this season. Again, they grabbed Devin Duvernay in the draft out of Texas. Great pick there, adding to that wide receiver with Willie Snead, of course, being the main guy kind of for the Ravens. In this defense, their defense is still so stacked. They add Calais Campbell to that front. He's going to be huge for them. Amazing secondary, in my opinion, one of the best secondaries in the NFL. You got Marlon Humphrey, you got Marcus Peters, you got Earl Thomas. That is very dangerous. You add Patrick Queen from LSU, a national championship LSU team. Patrick Queen, linebacker. He's going to be huge for them. Overall, this Ravens team, just everywhere, both sides of the ball, there's just so much talent and so much opportunity. There's so many guys that you have to be worried about on both sides of the ball, and it's just overpowering how good this team is. They are definitely a Super Bowl contender, hands down, this team. I think that they probably even, I want to pick the Ravens to win the Super Bowl. They're the team that probably, the teams that most likely have a chance at winning the Super Bowl, they're the team that I want to see win it. But there's still the Chiefs up there. They're a really good team. You have no clue what's going on in the NFC this year. Could it be the 49ers? Could it be the Seahawks? Could it be the Saints? Could the Buccaneers? There's a lot of questions, but I do think that the Ravens definitely had this division locked down. Thanks for watching this video, guys. As I already said, I definitely want to hear your guys' opinion down below on how the AFC North will shape up this season. Like the video, subscribe for lots more football content. I'm going to try to go through every division, and thanks for watching, and come back next time.